Okay, so hello again. We're at Thousand Trails Ocean Shores. It's called Oceana. I'm not exactly sure what the town next to us is. Ocean Shores? I
Ocean
think that might be
something,
it. Ocean City?
ocean something.
Ocean something. We're near the ocean anyway. Uh, anyway, so we'll have videos for you next week about this particular campground and what there is to do in this area. But since we're still here, we're still kind of working on that. So we thought we'd talk to you today about Thousand Trails and what it is and how it fits into our retirement plans. So we've actually been a member of Thousand Trails for about a year, a little over. And for those of you who don't know what Thousand Trails is, basically it's a campground membership, and you pay sometimes you pay like a yearly fee just a yearly fee, or sometimes you buy a higher category of membership. For us, we went with the what's it called? A zone pass. So we have the Pacific Northwest zone, and that's all we have, and we pay right around $500 a year. I locked the price in for 4 years when we did it because we figured we'd be camping for 4 years, so I was happy to lock the price in. And what that gets us is, I think there's 18 campgrounds in our zone. So Oregon, Washington, Victoria, uh, BC area. And I think there's 18 campgrounds. And for us, that's all of the campgrounds that we can use all year long. And for the last year that we've been doing it, it's worked just fine for us because we haven't been doing any traveling. This is just kind of like our home thing. If we wanted to go somewhere else, say over to the East Coast or down to Florida, down to Arizona, Texas, something like that, we could add on another zone. When we first purchased our zone pass, to add on an extra zone was $79, and that's good for a year. So that's super cost effective, even if you're just going to go spend a couple of nights in a different zone. That's pretty cost effective. I think I read not too long ago that it's now up to like $200 extra a year. I'm not really sure. I know that next year we will probably be purchasing several zone passes to take us, because we're going to do an across the states trip, road trip. We're just going to go like down south, all the way across the states, back up the East Coast, and back across the northern route. And so we'll need lots of other options um, for putting our big ass RV. So we'll either be upgrading our membership, which is you can buy them secondhand for like maybe $3,000, or you can buy them brand new from Thousand Trails for I'm not even sure how much they are, somewhere around $10,000 maybe. But it gives you access to all of Thousand Trails campgrounds, which I believe there's 82 in the entire zone. But with Thousand Trails, there's none like right in the middle of the United States. They're on the East Coast, the West Coast, and down around the southern part of the states is mainly where they are. There's some up north also, but there's virtually nothing right in the middle of the United States. So, but for us, this is kind of how we're going to be doing our just our basic camping in our area. We can go 4 to 6 hours away from home if we want, or we can stay close by. We have several campgrounds within a couple of hours of our home. How it's going to fit into our retirement plans, I guess, is just for weekend stays, weekly, couple weeks, whatever, staying close to home. It doesn't work a lot for like traveling way out of our area. We would have to add more to it. But they do have some memberships where, like I said, you can buy into the entire thing, and when you buy one of those, you can actually go like from one park to another, stay 21 days at a time, and then when it's time to move, you just pick up and go to another campground. With us, we're only allowed to stay 14 days, and then we have to be out of the system for 7 days before we can go to another park. So we're kind of limited in how we do it right this minute. But in the future, if we decide to do that upgraded one, then we'll be able to just go from one park to the next for as long as we want. And you can make your reservations out. For us right now, we can only make our reservations out 60 days at a time. Um, but when you buy the upgraded membership, you can go 90 days or 120 days. And
Yeah, the 2 weeks right now works the best for us because we're still pretty active dealing with family crises, and hopefully after the first year, everything's going to be going a lot better, and we can do our road trip after a 2 year postponement and go see the U.S.
that's our hope.
That's our hopes. Yes.
And the Thousand Trails campgrounds, I have a lot of people who have different. I've heard a lot of people who have differing opinions on them. Um, some people, call them hell holes, and some people are very disappointed in what they've bought for the money that I paid for it. I have to say I'm very happy with what we've purchased. And we didn't actually purchase it; we just have a yearly membership. But I'm very happy with what we've got. Um, for $500 a year so far, we've spent probably 50 to 60 days out of the year at a campground, and so that equals out to maybe $10 a night. That's a pretty
Yeah.
good price for camping, and really we've had a lot of issues in the last year that prevented us from going a lot of places. We would have gone a lot more, um, so it would have been even more cost effective. But I like the campgrounds. They're not 5-star resorts by any means. Like the one that we're in right now, about 10 feet in front of me is our next door neighbor, and there's nothing between us except air. And his sewer connection is about 8 feet to my right, and sometimes you can smell that. I'm just saying.
Yeah. The views, for some of the reviews on this campground, were not very favorable. But I don't know if it actually was that bad at one time, but it's fine now. I mean, all of them we've stayed at so far, I mean, they're campgrounds. So you kind of get, you know, a campground out of it, I guess. They're not, like Retta said, they're not 5-star hotels, but they are nice campgrounds. We've enjoyed all of them, and we'll continue to enjoy them. And if there's a bad one, we'll let you know. But these reviews were probably from about 3 years ago, and I've met a couple of the staff here, and are very nice, and they're always busy running around fixing stuff or maintaining stuff. So you get that everywhere. We always see staff busy in the golf carts. Sometimes it'll be brush, sometimes they'll have weed eaters, or I don't even know what else. I really don't pay a whole lot of attention to it. They're doing their job, and we're just retired doing
Right.
our retirement job. So, which
some of
is
them are
a lot of this. So, just saying.
some of them are nicer than others. The one in Florence, the each individual campground, almost every one of them has like a brush between you and your neighbor, so greenery and trees, and you have some privacy. Um, this one, not so much, but that's okay. Everybody picks out their favorite campgrounds. Um, We really like this one. It's got like a maybe a quarter mile walk down to the beach, and there's this huge beach down there. So that's a really good thing about this campground. Um, Seaside in Oregon is also a lot like this. There's no privacy between the sites. It's just like a KOA. You're just kind of stacked like cordwood on top of each other. But I think the sites there are a little bit bigger than this one. This is the first one I've been to where my neighbor's sewer has been right outside my front door. That's definitely not a pleasant aspect of this particular campground.
No, but you got to put them somewhere.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Yeah, overall, it's in a nice location. Their population's pretty low up in this area. Um, this is right on the road. You can hear the traffic in the background. We chose this spot because it has a full hookup. It was the last full hookup they had, and I don't mind the noise. It seems like I've always lived where there's traffic, so we get in that trailer at night and you don't hardly even notice the noise. So that's a plus for us. But I like to watch the traffic. I like to count cars. That's a big deal.
He
Not really.
loses count after three, but who's counting?
That's right. It doesn't matter.
And another thing about Thousand Trail campgrounds, as he was talking about the full hookups, um, a lot of them do not have enough full hookup sites for the rigs that seem to want them. So they're always at a premium. You may or may not get them. We spent a couple of weeks up at Diamond, nope,
Little Diamond.
Paradise. Oh, it was Little Diamond,
Little
wasn't it?
Diamond, yes.
Yeah, we spent a couple weeks up there in a just electric and water site, and that's when we went and bought the little pooper tank. Um, because otherwise you have to break down your camp and haul your rig over to do your dumping, and I thought it was just a lot easier to do the
Definitely
pooper tank.
was.
So um, that's always a concern too. So if you want something that always has a full hookup, always has 50 amps, Thousand Trails may not be for you, but we have enjoyed it, and I can see us upgrading our membership in the future because it does work for us. We don't
Yeah.
we don't need the top of the line anything. Okay, I lied. We really like top of the line, but
On this, in the future, this may be our lifestyle. We may be doing this all the time. So this is kind of a trial run in the next year or two, and the way things are going, this is a lot cheaper way to live than having a house payment and your taxes and all your utilities and everything. I mean, you pay one fee once a year for the most part, and you're gone. Then everything else is just pickup payment, trailer payment,
right,
bar bills.
that's a big one.
That's a big one.
We have
So,
we have to get rid of our house so we can afford our bar bill.
yeah. Well, there's always something to look forward to.
But if you like camping, whether you like to do it full time or just weekend warriors, or maybe a week in the summer or whatever, it's not a bad option.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, something else we like to do too is like we came up 101 to get here, and that's for those of you that don't know, that's the north south beach run on the west coast. And it probably took us between 5 and 6 hours. That's not what map said it was going to take, but that's what it took. But if we go over and catch I-5, it'll be a 4 hour drive home. But the 4 hours isn't a long time, but at the same time, if I'm going to drive that far, I don't want to go for the weekend. So we choose to go for a minimum of 7 nights if we're driving more than a couple hours, because it's just, to me, it's not worth it. So we'll
And we're
be here
retired,
10
so we
days.
can.
Yeah, we can. We can decide when we go and where we go. And I like that.
Anyway, that's our little tidbit on
Yeah.
Thousand Trails. If you've ever never heard of it, or if you've heard of it and wondered what it was all about, that might give you a little bit better idea. And I think that's about it.
I think so too.
Because when you're retired,
It's always 5 o'clock.
and it is now.